This is what your Arduino code looks like. You're going to have to change this link. So HTTP is sort of a protocol for communicating on the web. So you're going to have to change this link. And there's two main commands we're looking at: post and get. Post is sending things, get is receiving things. So this is the main code in here that kind of makes stuff work with our glitch website. This says we're going to be sending our temperature, our data information from our ESP in a JSON format, which is kind of like a database friendly format, basically. It makes it much easier to know, kind of like, okay, you're sending information, okay, this looks like an ID, this looks like the temperature, this looks like a time. Whereas if we put it in one long string, you'd have to kind of parse through, okay, read this amount of characters to a space, this amount of characters, etc. JSON is good for sending, when there's like discrete, different categories of information that you're sending. This is saying, okay, we're using a JSON document. This is our string value here. Let's see where we're reading this in here. So here is your typical stuff, that we did in years past. You're reading in a temperature from your analog pin. We're converting it, to Fahrenheit, to temp as our variable. And then when we're down here, we're saying, okay, turn into, well, you don't even need to turn it into a string. You just take whatever it is kind of coming in as, and this doc is kind of turning it into a JSON. So this kind of stuff going on here makes it into a nice JSON file, and then here we're saying, okay, post that JSON file with our temp data. Now on glitch, what you're going to want to do is in this temp file, or let's do knex first. So we added the knex library, and so to make the library work, use this command called require. This is sort of like include, but require. And then this is a little function for what happens when it's connected, or how to connect the knex code to our database. So we're saying, connect it. What is it? It's a SQLite 3 database. Where is it? / just means, look in the current folder, and then within the current folder, then look for a hidden .data folder, which we made, and then you're going to put the name of your database, whatever you called it, temp.db or whatever. And then module.exports just means that, all the other parts of this server code can read a new function that we exported called connected knex. Okay, the last thing you got to do to get this working is you're going to use this temp, and this is defining our knex database command. So we have a create, and then we have a get all temps. So this is what happens when we get a post. When we get a post command, it's going to call this create temp. And so all this stuff here, this code here, is just a way to get a date, UTC, kind of like a universal format date and time that we're getting. That this is just JavaScript code. You can use this in any JavaScript function. And then we're saying, we have a temp object, and the time property is going to be this date time, and we're going to add that into sort of the temp object that we're getting from post is already got our temperature in it, and all we're doing is we're just adding this time as another property to it. So then it inserts into the database, into whatever you called your table here, insert a row that has a temperature, and because we added time, it has time to it also. And then this is if you want to do a function to go in the database and get everything from the database. So this is get all temps. So we'll see this later. The way we do this graph over here on the right is we call it get all temps. So it goes in the database and gets everything from there.